Hey everybody, you're listening to Mark Ling, and I want to welcome you to today's groundbreaking webinar where in the next 60 to 90 minutes I'm going to reveal to you how I'm going to guarantee that you're going to have more money coming in from your own email list, either because of or in spite of your own performance. Now, look, I'm really grateful, and in fact, I'm really overwhelmed by the response to my fellow Jetpack program recently. Several hundred people have already joined. I'm actually pretty close to running out of space, probably by the time I finish this webinar, in fact. And I was really surprised when I said that I'm going to do this new webinar today where I teach my 3-step system for making over $112,000 per month online. I thought, heck, people have been on enough of my webinars lately, to be honest. So I thought, maybe 100 or 200 are going to turn up, and surprise on me. As of an hour ago, there were 1,872 people registered to be here, and it looks like any moment now this webinar is going to be full. So I really highly recommend that you don't leave this webinar, just in case you try to come back in. It might block you from doing that because there's a space limit on the webinar due to bandwidth. So yeah, I never expected such a huge response. So those of you who got here early, you're smart because you're guaranteed that you're here. And now it's possibly going to be the most important hour of your year, and maybe even your life for some of you guys. You're going to learn how to get rich with an automatic internet business that generates cash day after day, month after month, even if you know absolutely nothing about the internet as a marketing tool, nothing about a website, nothing about running a business, don't have any technical skills, don't have anything going on. Look, if you can copy and paste and be persistent, you can do this. I've made it that easy thanks to my system that I'm going to share with you. So please pay close attention to this, because it could literally be one of the moments you'll always remember as the moment that changed everything in your life and allowed you to finally live the dream life you've always wanted. Plus, at the end of the hour, I'm going to tell you how you can get your hands on my cutting-edge fellow Jetpack system before the doors actually close on this offer. This is a system that's helped literally thousands of people to almost instantly build a list, monetize that into thousands of dollars, and do so in just a few simple steps. Now, if you've got specific questions, I'm going to take them in a question and answer session at the end of the webinar. So I'm going to be on for quite a while on here answering questions. Please write them down, because I can't always get to all the questions like right away. So now, as I said earlier, make sure you've got a pen and paper ready. Get ready to take lots of notes. This is awesome, life-changing stuff I'm going to be sharing, but it means nothing if you don't take action with what you learn. For some of you, it'll be the start of your millionaire's journey. For others, it'll be start of the journey towards making a heck of a lot more money and having more freedom than you used to experience before. And for those of you who just sit and listen and do nothing, though, it might be a moment of regret where you wished you did get cracking right now. So make sure there's no regrets. Make sure you take action with what you learn, okay? Because that's the ultimate key to making great money online. Okay, so let's get started. All right, in today's exclusive webinar presentation, you're going to learn the biggest obstacle stopping you right now from making great money online. You're going to learn, step 1, how to go from $0 to $500 a month online. You're going to learn how to go from $500 to $10,000 a month, and then how to scale from $10,000 to $112,000 a month. So there is something for everyone, even if you're a beginner to advanced. And you're going to learn those 3 steps are going to be covered in the PDF that I'll give out at the end of the webinar. You'll find out why even one-page websites can make a fortune online. You'll find out how to get started making money online right away. Even if you're a newbie, and lots more. Are you guys excited about this webinar? Type in the Q&A box and say yes. Just get me hyped up so I know how hyped up you are, and so I know you're all ready to go. Okay? All right, awesome. Getting loads of yeses. Extremely, extremely yes. Hell yes, of course. Yep, very yes, yes, yes. Yes, do it, Mark. Yes, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Great. And for those of you who've got questions, remember, write them down. I'll be taking questions later in the webinar, okay, because I notice a few coming in already. Bear in mind, I can't always answer every single question due to the number of people on here, but I'll do my best. And if I do miss any, then just email them into support@afilorama.com later. But I'll do my best. I'm going to stick around for a while after the webinar. Now, a lot of you guys already know a bit about my background from previous webinar trainings that I've been on. So I'm only going to do a really super quick recap for those of you who missed it, because I know that some of you guys don't know who I am, although a lot of you guys do. So I'm just going to do the 60-second recap, basically. Like several years ago, I was $120,000 in debt. I was depressed and I was struggling to get by. I was living in a cold, rundown house. I drove a Mazda 808, a 1976 Mazda 808, and the outlook for my future at that point in time looked grim. And several of my flatmates then at the time started doing drugs, and all of them who were in college at the time, they all dropped out of college within about 1 month of each other. It was crazy. My environment sucked. I had no money. I was in over my head in massive debt. I had all sorts of strangers turning up at my house doing drugs at about 3 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I got involved in making money on the internet. And I set up websites with free articles on them, and I recommended readers of those articles to go and buy relevant products. I earned commissions every time someone bought one of those products. So for instance, someone might type in, say, father of the bride wedding speech, and I'd have an article on it that gave some tips for writing a father of the bride wedding speech, and that page would include links maybe to a guide on how to write a father of the bride wedding speech, and I'd earn a 75% commission on every sale of that. And I did the same in dating, dog training, body wraps, virtual horse training, anti-spam software, learn guitar, lots of different things. And next thing I knew, I was not only making a great amount of money online, it was kind of funny because I was actually getting checks in the mail from places I'd never even remembered affiliating to before. I mean, any one of you guys that's making good money online that's here, you'll probably know what I'm talking about there. Like, once you really get going, sometimes you end up with checks from places you forgot you're even affiliated to. Now, to cut a long story short though, later I discovered email marketing and skyrocketed my income by 200% in less than 90 days. And then when people suffered from changes to Google and other places they were relying on getting visitors from, I barely noticed a blip because I had so many subscribers on my mailing list it didn't matter. These people keep buying from me again and again and again for years. Many people underestimate just how long a loyal subscriber is going to stay on your list. Out of interest, how many of you guys have been on my list for over a year? Say yes if you have, or no if you haven't. I'm just interested to know. Wow, I'm actually finding that over 50% of you are saying that you've been on my list for over a year. That's really interesting. And what's really interesting about that is because a lot of you guys are on this webinar because somebody else has actually sent you here. Not all of you guys came here because I emailed about it. Some of you guys came from other people. So that's really interesting. It's more than I thought. I was expecting maybe 10%, but it's actually more than that. So a lot of you guys have been on my list for over a year. So you know what it's like to be a loyal subscriber on someone's list. Well, that happens in other niches too, not just this one. And it's really, really amazing. Yes, some people leave a list within 10 days of subscribing, and maybe even 30% of people who opt into any mailing list, whether it be my mailing list here at Afilorama or whether it be a mailing list to do with dog training. You'll get a certain number of people that subscribe and then unsubscribe straight away. Don't worry about those people. They're not the people that buy stuff anyway. Okay? Now, I've got a multi-million-dollar business. And email marketing has moved from being very important to absolutely vital in terms of making great money online. Now, I'm not showing you income screenshots, like high ones like this, to brag. And if you knew me in real life, you'd know I'm not a flashy kind of guy. I prefer to be understated and over deliver than the other way around. But I want to show you the potential of this stuff so that you're motivated to take action with what you learn today. Okay, don't be intimidated by screenshots like this one showing me earning over $116,000 in a single week from promoting an affiliate product. Okay, don't be intimidated, be inspired. And that's another point I want to make. Okay, one thing I notice about people who do well in anything in life, whether it be in relationships, whether it be all sorts of things, sports, the works, they're usually the people who become inspired by successful people rather than jealous of them. Okay, so if you ever catch yourself being jealous, try and change that in your mind and reframe it as being inspired. If you ever see somebody that's, say, got a, I don't know, maybe they've got a hotter looking girlfriend than you if you're a young guy, or equivalent if you're a young woman, or whatever, or maybe they're better than you at sport or something, be inspired by that person, learn from that person, and if they're making more money than you, then learn from what they're doing. Okay, if you knew me, you'd know I'm just a regular guy who is in the right place at the right time, and I am really lucky and I'm grateful for the success that I've had. You know, I'm not especially gifted or talented. I got C's at university. I do stupid things like every day, like forget to put the trash out, or lose my keys, or put the wrong pants on one of my children, or whatever, you know. But when I cottoned on to making money online, I threw everything at it and made sure that I got to know all the basics and did them very well. The key is that you do the basics well. There's a lot of flair and room for innovation, but a lot of that's not necessary, and a lot of that's puffery that are used to sell a lot of internet marketing products out there that you don't need. All right? So I have managed to master a few basics extremely well, which have allowed me to produce many accounts like these ones here, where I generate thousands of dollars a day online. All right? And it's not just me. It's my students as well. And I'll let you hear some of their stories later in the webinar. Heck, I even got my 17-year-old half-sister into this, and she's doing great. What's really great, though, what I really love about the whole thing is that now, unlike any other time before in the whole history of the internet, now is actually the easiest and best time to get involved and start making great wealth online. All right, it's like the printing press. When that started in the in the 1600s, people didn't even really tap into the power until maybe the 1900s. It took like 300 years before they were really making money hand over fist from direct mail advertisements and so forth in the printing press. And now online, heck, most people have only been on the internet the last 15 or so years, maybe 20 if you're lucky. And it's early, and things are only just starting to heat up. Like, now is the best time to get started online. It's the easiest and best time. There are more profitable offers to promote than ever before, paying out huge affiliate commissions. There are more people buying stuff online than ever before, and there are many people preferring to buy online these days, that prefer to do that than going out and buying stuff. There are more resources available where you can push a button and bam, you've got a website online. There's a lot of reasons why. There's more traffic generating methods. I mean, it used to be that there were 1 or 2 key traffic strategies, and now there's like 17 to 20 strategies that work very well. There's lots of ways of getting visitors. There's never before in the whole history of the internet has it been so easy to get started. Okay, there's even less competition because a lot of people that used to just try to make money one way online are now diversifying into different things. Like that, some people are trying to make apps to sell on say, on Apple mobile devices. Some are making apps to sell on Android devices. Some people are making money selling software and so forth, and services. I mean, there's so many different things. People are, making physical products. I mean, there's so many different things. It's, so it's almost like cut down the competition by having more things available as well. It's crazy. So never before has it been this easy to get started. And there are dozens and dozens of great ways to get relevant visitors to your website. Like I said, without even having to worry about Google anymore if you don't want to. It's a crazy time that we are living in right now. I've got over 100 millionaires on my Skype that I chat with regularly. So the world I see is just crazy. People are making money hand over fist online. All right? So anyway, like I said, the internet's now in its infancy. It's the easiest and best time to get started. And I'm going to show you my 3-step formula today for going from 0 to 112k plus per month online. So listen up, take notes, take action with what you learn. All right? So step one. Step one is going from 0 to $500 a month online. All right? That first step, I'm just going to give you one quick analogy, really, really quickly, first of all. Now, imagine if there was $1 million on one side of a wall, okay? Or one side of a door. And I was to show you that $1 million. And then I was to come back around and show you the door that you've got to get through to get to it. Now, if I told you you had 24 hours to get through that door and that $1 million is yours, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to do everything you can to bash down that door to get in there, right? I mean, you'll scratch at it, you'll pick at the lock, you'll do anything you can. And you know what? The moment you bash down that door, well, the moment most people bash down that door, if they discover that, oh, wait a minute, there's another door there, most people give up at that point. In real life, that's what happens. Even though that money is still there, if you were then at that point in time to find out, wait a minute, there's actually 3 doors, not 1 door. It's actually 3. So it's 3 times as far as you first thought. You need to be the kind of person that will just, regardless, you will knock down all the doors. Okay, the money is still there. It's not like the money is not there. It's just that the task was just, it's not harder, it's just a little bit further than you first thought. Okay, and you need to have that attitude online. But rather than looking for the next shiny object all the time, looking for another door to go through, which also is always 3 doors. There's always 3 doors. Okay, everyone keeps knocking down 1 door, then they knock down another 1 door. Say yes into the Q&A box if you happen to be someone who finds themselves knocking down 1 door rather than knocking down all 3. Right, I'm getting a lot of yeses already, all too much. Okay, so you need to commit to yourself, whatever door you're opening, whatever door it is, whatever track you're on to making money, that you're going to knock down all 3 doors. Okay? So because everyone has different obstacles. Some people there is just 1 door because they luckily managed to just do things exactly right first time. For a lot of people, there's mistakes along the way. Like myself, I have stumbled and bumbled my way to success. If you knew me personally, you would know how many mistakes I make. I make mistakes every day, but I'm very good at getting on with it. Make a mistake, all right, get on with it. Drive some people nuts, but that's just me. And that's what you got to be like. It's not like stuff's hard. It's not like learning high school calculus. It's just things are just a little further. It's like being told that a shop is 3 blocks down the street. Can you go get me some milk? And then finding out that it's actually 9 blocks down the street. You can still get there. It's just further than you first thought. Okay? So bear that in mind. That doesn't mean it takes an awful long time. It just means you want to have the stubborn attitude that you're going to finish this thing and succeed no matter what. Right? Now, if you've been on the last couple of webinars with me, you'll remember me mentioning, in general, for most profitable niches out there, you'll make, if you've got a newsletter subscriber, a newsletter list, some opt-ins or whatever, you are going to make between 50 cents and $2 per month per free subscriber that you get in general. So just for argument's sake, let's just average that out at $1. So basically your goal is to have this page online where you give away a free report or something in order to get people to subscribe to your newsletter series. Okay? So it might be a 1-page website to a 5-page website or whatever, but it should have a free report in there, and you can put affiliate links into your free report as well. Okay, now with that in mind, what you need to do is get to around 500 subscribers to make $500 a month online. You may need more than 500 subscribers to maintain that level, because maybe a third of your subscribers, the moment they subscribe, they unsubscribe. So I mean 500 relevant subscribers, okay? But, okay, I want to know, before I've actually got into teaching you more of this stuff, okay, who thinks if they had something really cool for free to give away online, something that their target prospect is already looking for? Like imagine someone that's got a difficult dog. Imagine a report on how to stop the top 7 most common behavioural problems. Or someone who is obsessed with getting better at singing. And imagine a free report on how to sing an octave higher. Or someone wanting to lose weight. Imagine a free report on 45 foods that boost your metabolism and cause you to burn fat fast. Imagine that you have a great free report to give away. Who thinks that they could learn the lessons that it takes to give away that report to 500 people? Who thinks there's a chance that they could do that? Right, I'm getting, you know what? I've got a few dozen people saying yes, but it's a lot. I'm not getting people saying no, but I'm getting less people saying yes than what I got to my previous questions. So I'm guessing there must be some of you out there that are thinking, I'm getting a few more yeses coming through. That's great. So if you're thinking no, why would you be saying no? I'm not saying that you should know right now how to do it. I'm saying, because I'll tell you something about how sales work in the world. This is a copywriting lesson here for a moment here. Okay? It's very desire in the mass public. Desire is like for anything in life, whether it's desire to solve a problem, whether it's desire to experience something that's entertaining, whatever it is. Desire is like an ocean. All right, it is much easier to surf the waves of an ocean than it is to try to redirection the waves by building a dam. That's very hard. All right. Can you understand that? Right. Okay. So bear in mind, you don't have to create desire. Creating desire is what huge, massive corporations do, and they quite often fail at it, spending billions of dollars. Okay, because when you have to educate people on why they should want something, and why something is good for them, that's always a trickier battle than trying to sell something that they already wanted. Okay, so when you bear that in mind, that you're not having to create desire here, you're just giving people what they're already looking for. Giving away 500 of these things is actually relatively easy. Okay? There are so many great forms of traffic out there, and dozens of free traffic options and dozens of paid traffic options. And either way, I know every one of you can get 500 people on your mailing list quite quickly. I know this because even my 67-year-old father can do this stuff. And my 17-year-old sister, for that matter, who was doing it when she was 16. That's when she started. So, okay, look, I know some people are saying right now, okay, but I wouldn't know what to write inside those newsletters to get people to buy stuff. yeah, that's fine. That's where I come in. And as you know by now, if you were on my last couple of webinars, if you're part of my fellow Jetpack system, I've already got that done for you. I've got, 1 year newsletter sequence done for you in 16 different niches, all ready to go and all monetized for you. I make things as simple as humanly possible if you happen to be one of my members. That's the great thing about technology. It might have taken me well over a year to build this, but now that it's working, it makes things super easy and super simple for you. And you're getting in on the ground floor right now before I close it off to new members. All right, so I'm getting ahead of myself here. It's like this. I used to play squash for years and years, and I was stuck in the same grade. And then I got myself a squash coach. That year, I played about 90 matches, and I won 85 of them. And I moved up the grades so fast, I couldn't believe what was happening. It's like that with making money online, except the difference is that unlike a coach who can't actually play for you when you're playing sport, online, I can actually do some stuff for you because of my system and software. I've made it so easy so that 90% of the stuff's done for you. Like you push a few buttons and you've got a website. Or you fill out a form, you have your affiliate link, and are given to you, and you're ready to receive paychecks. Or you insert your affiliate link into my system, and you press a button, and bam, you have 12 months of newsletters ready to go in an automated system. And if you do some customizing of your website, which is really easy, follow my videos on how to drive traffic, you're up and making money. And you know what? If you're having trouble, you post your website to my forum for me to leave a video critique for you, so I can tell you what's going on. And I've got other support staff and a thriving members private forum. I make things as easy as possible. Now I'm teaching you step 1 at the moment. All right. And sorry if I've got a bit ahead of myself mentioning about fellow Jetpack. I am excited about that product, but I do have an incredible PDF document I'm going to flat out give you at the end of this webinar that teaches all 3 of these steps, including the diagrams. So you don't have to write these diagrams down because they're in the PDF. So you can implement this right away starting tonight. So stick around for that. You're not going to want to miss out on that. Okay, so let's just recap over step 1 at the moment. Okay. Step 1. Step 1, choose a niche. Make sure it is high converting products to promote. Choose a desire niche. Choose a ocean if you can. Something where there's already existing mass desire out there. Set up a 1-page, maybe 5-page website. You can turn it into an authority site later if you want to by adding more pages and so forth. But if you don't want to drive search engine traffic to it, if you're driving traffic using other means, then a 1-page to 5-page website's all you need. Then you make a free report, and inside that free report you put some affiliate links to at least one relevant product. You make your opt-in page, and you monetize with your autoresponder series, and then you drive visitors to your opt-in page. There's so many different traffic sources. I covered several of them on the last webinar I was on actually, but just to name a few, there's forum participation, there's YouTube, there's search engine optimization, like long tail search engine optimization especially works well. Long tail, that's when you're, instead of targeting say dog training, you'd be targeting say stop Weimaraner whining, or stop golden retriever digging, like a long tail phrase, like something rather specific, like 3 or 4 words to the phrase. There's a lot of good ways of doing that. You can do SEO, so to speak, for your YouTube videos too. There's borrowed authority SEO. That's where you get on a website that's already got authority rather than doing it on your own site. Like say you used Squidoo or Weebly or something, and you build a page or more around a certain phrase, and then you do some quick hack link building, and you find that it ranks rather well rather quickly because it's already got authority on that site. There's guest blogging, there's blog commenting, there's social media sharing, Amazon Kindle, there's viral stuff. And you know what? Most people usually get to $500 a month online by just mastering one of these. Alright? They don't usually master all of them. If they've mastered all of them, they're probably more likely to be closer to the 10,000 than the 500. So it might sound like a lot, but it's actually not a lot when you don't actually have to do all of that at all. But I'm just saying there are so many different methods of driving traffic out there, that I can teach you guys. Now, just before I get on to step 2, how to go from $500 to $10,000 a month online, and then on to step 3, how to go from $10,000 to $112,000 plus per month online. I wanted to just really quickly tell you about my dad. He's 67 years old, and in my first few years making money online, he was actually really skeptical. All right, how many of you guys know somebody who's really skeptical about your efforts to try and make money online? Do you know what that's like? Yeah, okay, I'm getting a few people typing in. Yeah, right. Well, yeah, cool. I'm getting a lot of heck yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, he kept reminding me, sooner or later I need to get a real job and make a career. Okay? But really, I mean, that came from his own uncertainty, I think, really, more than anything else, because he would have, I mean, everyone knows that the people that are doing the best are always people that have the businesses, or usually, unless you win lotto or you're somehow luckily managed to start with money and ended up as an investor. But yeah, but anyway, he kept reminding me, sooner or later I need to get a real job, make a career. And then one day I decided to go and get an office outside of my house and actually put desks in it and hire some staff. And he was suddenly proud of me and realised, wow, this is a real business. It wasn't long after that, though, that he actually came to me and told me how stressed he was in his job. He'd been working for the government by this time for over 30 years. And they were putting the pressure on him now. All of a sudden, they'd slashed the staff under him from 25 down to 17. And he was expected to achieve the same productivity, even higher than before. Plus, they decided to have somebody sit next to him, looking over his shoulder to see what he was doing and make sure that he was absolutely as productive as humanly possible, which made it really hard for him to concentrate. Like, the pressure was really starting to wear on him. He became ill more often, and he wasn't happy. And I told him to quit his job. I told him, I'm going to show you how to make money online. And luckily he agreed that this was a good idea. At his age, that was kind of crazy talk to start a business. And wow, after all these years, my father decided it was time to start his own business. And he started affiliating to dog training products, and then how to sing products, and other products. And wow, he actually did really well at it. Now, he's not making millions of dollars per year, but he is making a lot more than he ever used to make when he was working for the government. Which is crazy. And the great thing is, he doesn't even do this full time, just a couple of hours a day. And he spends more time in the garden and playing table tennis, things that he actually really enjoys a lot. And he might be 67, but if you saw his energy, he actually seems like someone that's 10 years younger than that. They say you don't need money to make you happy. But heck, it sure does help, right? I mean, what good would financial freedom do for your life? Like, what good would it do for your stress levels and for your happiness? I mean, you can either carry on doing what you're doing right now, or you can take the plunge and make this happen. I encourage you to join me at a fellow jetpack at the end of this webinar. I'll give you the details on how to join. Make sure if you're going to get in before the doors close, because we're almost at capacity. We take pride in keeping our support of our members to super strong levels, so that's why we can't take in too many new members at a time. I had a few people get upset at me a few days ago when I closed the doors. I didn't close them for long though, because I knew I was going to run this webinar and the one before it. But we're not far off that. And anyway, I know that anyone can do this. You don't need prior skill or knowledge or technical background or anything else. Okay, and remember, I'm going to be giving away this PDF document at the end that outlines all these diagrams and blueprint instructions and so forth from this webinar presentation. So that's the $0 to $112,000 per month blueprint. I'll give that away at the end of the webinar. All right. I'm getting some people saying, hey, he doesn't look that old. That photo was taken maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago, not very long ago. Yeah, so he's 67 when that was taken. Yeah, he looks young. I mean, you look younger when you're happier. Anyway, so anyway, moving on, going from $500 to $10,000 a month. Okay, so it's similar to step one, but the key at this point is to ramp up the traffic, build more money magnets, and to automate your system. Alright, so I have covered this diagram in a different form on a couple of previous presentations, but it's got a little bit more detail to it here. And then I'll be getting into the next method, scaling things up even further. But anyway, at this point, what you want to do is you want to start with driving potential prospects to your opt-in page. That's where you're giving them something they already want. They already desire it. Okay, so you're finding the right potential prospects and giving them a free report. Okay, all right, and then you're putting them into your prospect pleasing machine. All right, that's your autoresponder newsletter series. All right, a lot of you guys are on this particular webinar because you are in somebody's prospect pleasing machine. You're either on my list, okay, you're either on my mailing list or you are on someone else's mailing list. So surely you guys can see the power of email marketing. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. So yes, if you can see the power of email marketing, I'd like to know that you guys can see it. Because otherwise you wouldn't be here. And it's like that, and it doesn't just work in this niche, it works in every niche. Cool. Okay, I'm getting a lot of yeses. Awesome, great. I'm getting one no, but everyone else saying yes. Cool. All right, great. That's awesome. So anyway, a prospect pleasing machine, it leads to happy subscribers, which might by word of mouth, or you can even automate that word of mouth with software, it's up to you, but by word of mouth will recommend your report to other people, which leads to more opt-ins on your list. That's just a little byproduct, but basically that prospect pleasing machine does turn into happy subscribers, and it turns into more money for you. That money is used in 3 ways. 1, putting it in your wallet. Now, the less money you're making, the higher percentage is going to go in your wallet, all right? Because you're not in this game to make $500 a month. Every one of you probably wants at least $10,000 a month. You want to not just quit your day job. You want to make more than double what you're making. At least, maybe even go further. So anyway, some of it goes in your wallet, but usually a lot of it will go in you. A lot of it won't at the start, because if you want to grow faster, you will reinvest that money either into buying more traffic, okay, or spending more time getting the free traffic. You might pay other people to do stuff for you. There might be stuff that you just don't like doing, and you pay people through outsourcing methods to do it. I teach my students how to do that. I've got outsourcing training in Affiliate Jetpack. But the other thing you might do is just build more of these money magnets in other niches, or even in the same niche that you're in, with different opt-in pages. Okay, so one way or another, what you're doing is you are making money, reinvesting, growing bigger. Making money, reinvesting, growing bigger, and bigger, and bigger, and bigger. And it might start out as a little mothball, but it turns into a giant snowball if you keep going ahead. There's lots of places to buy traffic from. You don't have to worry about buying traffic till you're making money, like I said in the previous step. We're looking at a lot of free traffic methods. But if you want things to snowball faster, you can scale up your free traffic methods. I got to over $10,000 a month online by only using free traffic methods, okay, and several people do, okay, so you can do that. But a lot of people prefer paid traffic because it's faster and easier in a lot of ways. So there's MSN Bing, there's Google AdWords, there's Facebook for paid traffic, there's media buys from places like MGID, AdSonar, DoubleClick, Yahoo Display Network, eZanga, YouTube, SiteScout. I showed you how to briefly about how to do media buys in the last webinar we did, but I teach that in detail inside Fellow Jetpack. There's solo ads. I also teach that in detail. I also teach people in detail how to set up little 30-page Kindle books and use those to A, make a little bit of money, and B, drive traffic to your opt-in pages. There's so many strategies, and you could spend money. You know, why? I mean, that's a free traffic strategy, and it's paid. It's paid if you're paying to get more of these books made, rather than writing them yourself, so to speak. Okay, so as Jade is saying, who's just typed into the Q&A box, it is an unstoppable force if you do it well. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. That's incredible. Now, before we go on to step 3, I want to know quickly, are there any questions about what I've covered so far? You know, I don't want to get held up on too many questions. I just want to see, are there any particular sticking points that are common to a lot of you, if you want to keep type some of this. It's someone saying, what do you think about traffic exchange? Actually, that is a very good method of building up your opt-in lists. I know one guy, actually I know several that do this, to be honest, not just one. One guy in particular who's doing the best at it that I know, that's making several $100,000 a year. It might even be $1 million a year, I'm not quite sure. And almost all his traffic is from what are called traffic exchanges. It's where maybe you get 1,000 people onto your list, right? And then you find someone else. Maybe it's another fellow Jetpack member, whoever it might be, or somebody else. And you do a swap. You say, I'll mail my list to, if you mail your list, and I'll mail your opt-in page to my list if you mail my opt-in page to your list. And then these people end up on both people's lists, right? And then you keep doing that with different people until you keep swapping and swapping and swapping. And yes, you dilute your list by the fact that these people that are on your list are now on more people's lists. They're not just on yours, they're on a few other people's lists. Yes, there's dilution in that method, but you can grow your list to a larger number quickly without spending money. So you might end up with, at some stage, you might end up having 5,000 people on your list, say, or even 10,000 or more. I mean, the guy I know that does it now has over 150,000 people on his list from doing all these swaps. You know, he kept swapping with people that have bigger and bigger lists as he went up. Now, you may find that, let's say at some stage you have 5,000 people on your list. Because you've done list swaps, those people may also be on 20 other people's lists. Okay? That may dilute the amount of money that you make by a little bit. It may mean that you're making 50 cents per subscriber per month instead of $1, but it doesn't seem to cut things by too much, from what I see from other people that I know that use the strategy. So yes, that can be a very, very good strategy for growing your list. So, I mean, you know, I would rather have 10,000 people, you know, that were on a diluted list than, say, the original 500 I started with, you know, if that's going to make me that much more money. You know, unless those 500 were all buyer leads, like every single one of them had bought something from me, you know, but that's different. Cool. Someone says, do you have replays of the previous webinars? I had taken them down, but I will put them back up, but they're going to come down again very shortly. So, so yeah, make sure you watch them before they come down. I will put them up for another day or so. Yeah, I mean, once we close the doors though to new members, which is likely to happen either tonight after this webinar, or if not by the end of tomorrow after the replay. So make sure you watch them as soon as you can though. But yeah, anyway, I'll keep moving on. Step 3. Everyone's probably very excited about this particular step. This is the same step that I've taken a few of my students through in the past who have done very, very well. I've had some people sometimes actually come up to me in live events where I won't even realise that they were my student to begin with, because they were just, a lot of the people that are doing really well, they don't post on my members forum or anything. They'll just like be quietly succeeding, and then I bump into somebody and then they'll say, hey, I started online 3 years ago with your, with your training, and now I'm making $1 million a year, or more likely now I'm making 6 figures a year, although I have 3 or 4 times had people say they're doing over $1 million a year now. And every one of them is usually they've got past this stage, and then they've done either number 1 here or number 2. Okay, to go from $10,000 to $112,000 a month. All right, you're going to either have to, and I'll explain a bit more in a moment. I've got another diagram for you. You're going to have to either scale up the paid traffic a lot. You may even need to negotiate higher commissions with people that you're promoting. All right, if you're sending a lot of sales per day, you may succeed in that. I don't know. And become meticulous with your tracking. I mean, I know one guy who he came to one of my private masterminds recently, and he started talking at my mastermind by saying he showed a screenshot of how he makes over $30,000 a day off ClickBank, and he said, "Oh, this is only half the money I'm making, but it's the most I'm making in a single account. It's like over $30,000 a day," and he didn't even have any of his own products. Okay, all he was doing was buying traffic. He knows his numbers. Okay, so yes, you can get there by scaling up your paid traffic. For a lot of you guys that don't like looking at the numbers too much, you prefer to keep it simpler. That's why people sort of get stuck at making about $10,000 a month. Okay, I would have probably got stuck around $10,000 to $20,000 a month, because I like looking at numbers to a certain degree. Like, I can look at them for half an hour a day. I don't like looking at them for like 5 hours a day, so to speak, which is what it might take to get to $112,000 a month. Okay, so most people do number 2. That's what will get a lot of you guys there if you want to get to $112,000 a month. That is making and selling your own information product. Okay, make and sell your own information product. Now, the number 1 key to succeeding, though, with either of these methods is copywriting. Okay, it's really, really important. Okay, it's just, I can't even stress that enough, how important that is. Okay, like copywriting, at that point where you're trying to go from $10,000 a month to $112,000, it's your ability to convert sales is absolutely key. All right, I'm just going to read a little excerpt right now from the free report that I'm going to be giving you at the end of the webinar. Okay, because I think that it's important. That I think I'll word it better if I read it from the report right now. Okay, it says here, one thing that's hugely important is the biggest, most important factor that seems to determine who makes it from 6 to 7 figures a year and beyond is copywriting. That's your ability to convert sales, even if all you do is affiliate marketing without ever making your own product. I know guys who make over $60,000 a day just as an affiliate, but the key is they know how to write copy that converts. Whether that be copy for their emails that go out, copy for their banner advertisements, or suggestions to the merchant for how to improve their copy so that they get better conversions and commissions. Copy is essential. And for product owners, whether you sell a product via a video sales letter, webinar, or written sales page, copywriting is absolutely vital in the information publishing industry. those who get obsessed with copywriting always become hugely successful. Usually they become multi-millionaires from what I've seen in this industry. If you can write copy that sells, then it's easy to buy traffic and convert it into money. Or even if you don't buy traffic, it's easy to put an offer out there that other people want to promote for you if you can write good copy. And as an affiliate, one of the best ways that you can learn copy is by example. If you do decide to become a member of Affiliate Jetpack today, you will see exactly what a high converting, well optimized email marketing sequence looks like, full of great copy and promoting offers which convert extremely well. And you'll be able to use Affiliate Jetpack, and it's done for you, autoresponder series and so forth. You'll find out more about later, to make money and analyze how it's working really well. And I do include further detailed copywriting training as part of my $5 million code product, by the way, which is currently being included as a limited time free bonus for those who join Affiliate Jetpack today before the webinar special expires. Okay, so that's a big reason why the niches in Affiliate Jetpack work so well, is because, like I said earlier, they are massive desire niches that basically you're surfing waves in the ocean, so to speak. Now, what it looks like when you're making and selling your own info product, what the diagram looks like at that point in your journey, okay, is like this. Okay. And by the way, if you're thinking, heck, this is looking rather complicated right now, then it's probably because you're not at step 3 yet. You're not at $10,000 yet per month. If you are making $10,000 a month, then you're probably thinking this sounds rather easy and like it's the next logical step. Okay, so don't get put off by it. Just think, you know what, when it comes time to getting to step 3, it's actually straightforward and no harder than the previous step. Alright, the hardest step's probably step 1 actually, because that's where you're stepping outside your comfort zone and actually just getting underway and doing something different to what you're used to doing. Alright, but anyway, what you do is you have you've got an offer of your own. So I'd start by looking at the your offer area of the page there, your offer, and that offer gets bear in mind it should be a mass desire type of offer, something that lots of people want already anyway. You just happen to have your own spin or hook on it. Like, I remember there used to be about 50 different, and there still are, about 50 different products on how to win your ex back, like how to win your ex-husband back or your ex-wife back or whatever. And then one guy came along with good copywriting skills. He's a good friend of mine, by the way, and he made a product and he called it How to Text Your Ex Back. So how to get your ex back using text messages. So he took the desire that everybody already had, but he just put a little hook on it, text messages being the hook in this particular case, and bam, lots of people wanted it. It converted well and loads of affiliates promoted. Even to this day, it still makes thousands of dollars a day for them. Okay, so you got your offer, affiliates promote it. Okay, so you could even forget about driving traffic by then yourself and just let affiliates do it all if you really want to, or you can do what a lot of people do and buy traffic as well as let them drive it. So affiliates, they'll either send traffic to your opt-in page or they'll send traffic directly to your offer. Some like to do it different ways. Either way, your opt-in page will send people back to your offer anyway, and your opt-in page will put people into your prospect pleasing machine. If anyone buys your offer, you will also put them into your prospect pleasing machine as well. They're on your newsletter series as a result of buying it. They're on your members series. And you know what, if someone buys your offer, you're probably at some point going to have a back-end offer as well, some sort of upsell, whether it be immediately or whether it be a few weeks after they buy, I don't know, but you'll have some sort of back-end which will make you money also. So your offer makes you money, your back-end makes you money, and your prospect-pleasing machine makes you money. And if you like, you can drive free and paid traffic direct to your opt-in page. Keep doing that as well, and you end up with piles of cash per month. All right, and that's the secret that I've used successfully to make millions of dollars in a lot of niches, from language learning. I've done extremely well there. Dog training, learn guitar, learn piano, singing, singing just as an affiliate there, and loads of other dating relationships, personal development. I've got one of the top selling products in ClickBank there. I've got one of the top selling dating ones as well. Wedding speeches. There's been heaps of them. Obviously, the make money online niche, which was not one of my first niches to get into, but yeah, I mean, I've done well there. But it's always looked like this. It's always that model there, okay? And it works extremely well. Right, so you become obsessed with copywriting for conversions at that point. If you're at that point making $10,000 a month and you're not sure where to get started with for copywriting or whatever, then I do highly recommend that you go through my $5 million code, which comes with a fellow jetpack as a bonus for a limited time, until we close the doors. But you can even try and get in touch with me if you're making $10,000 a month. Then it's probably going to be pretty easy for me to point you in the right directions to, tell you what copywriting books to go out and buy and learn from and so forth. It's not going to take me long to be able to point you in the right direction to doubling and tripling that. So anyway, moving forwards, you don't have to understand every element of this right now. I'm just showing you where it gets to, though, and you will understand all of this. It's all taught in my $5 million code. You'll find it relatively easy when you're at that point in your journey. Okay, some people do skip straight to this step. Okay, if you're really keen and think that you can do it, fine. But there's just more steps in this step. There's more parts to the equation having your own offer. That's all, because you really got to learn your copywriting. Whereas you can get up to here, up to $10,000 a month, without having to learn, a lot of the stuff. Because I've done it all for you in a fellow jetpack with my, done for you prospect pleasing machine, so to speak, the 1-year autoresponder sequences, and I've done the opt-in bribes for you and everything. So, now, before I do Q&A and before I give you the free report, I want to let you know all about fellow jetpack for those of you that do want to join. To me, it's the system you've been looking for. It puts your money making on autopilot. Every one of you should own multiple money magnets. In the past, it wasn't your fault because it was hard. Now, I've made it as easy as humanly possible, so there's no excuse. Every member of a fellow jetpack receives full access to my money-making community, including I've just added a good place, more obvious place inside our forum for getting your websites critiqued, so I can just, record video critiques for you and so forth, and so my staff can help and so forth. There's hand-holding, high-quality support, and more. But here are the components of fellow jetpack that will help you make a lot of money in the easiest and fastest way possible. Component number 1 is the 5 1-year autoresponders. Okay, that can easily be the Achilles heel, the most time-consuming part, and that can be the part where people really screw up, because it's not actually that easy to write a great autoresponder series if you're not great at copy. But because I've done it for you, and I've written the marketing copy for you, and I've hired great writers to write high-quality newsletters in I think it's 16 or maybe might even be 19 different niches now inside a fellow jetpack. Because I've done that for you, you just plug it in, and you're basically will have the newsletter series of a millionaire marketer. Like, that's how good these autoresponders are. Okay. Done for you, and you get to have 5 of them, so you can choose not just one niche to go into. You can choose 5 of them. You might go into dating advice for women. You might go into self-help or spirituality, or personal development, or weight loss, or make money online, or how to sing, or golf, or dog training or whatever. Lots to choose from. Diet and nutrition. There's 90 plus carefully crafted emails that go into that 1 year sequence. I think it's more like 120 plus from memory actually. And then you just plug in your affiliate ID, press a button, and it generates your autoresponder newsletter sequence just like that. Then you press another button and it automatically puts it into the autoresponder. Saves you the hassle. Like some people are asking, before, what does an autoresponder series look like? Well, if you weren't on one of my previous webinars, then there's just a rough example of what might come out. Like on day 1, the moment someone subscribes, they'll get something saying, hey, your free report's ready. But then on day 3, if they're in a self-help autoresponder, they might get something like how the law of attraction really works. Or on day 10, they might get incredible abundance and 5 easy steps. Day 23, how to stamp out negativity fast. Weight loss might be day 8, 4 carbs to eat and 4 carbs to avoid. Day 22, 7 common mistakes that make you fat. They're all like high quality newsletters, well written, they build a relationship, and they're also monetized with your affiliate offers. You just need to be able to give away the free reports. Okay? I mean, it would normally cost about $9,000 to get all of this done for yourself, and to be honest, most people doing it for you won't have the marketing chops that I do to be able to make sure that they're monetized well. Okay, they won't know what offers to pick to promote and so forth. So, it saves you that hassle too, of having to pick those kind of offers. Okay. Francisco Bravort said, I first started online thanks to Mark and his training, and since then I've built several top performing sites in different niches. I've managed to build a new home, pay it off completely, and build another new home during that time, and I couldn't recommend Mark's Affiliate Jetpack any more highly. Component number 2, really, really important, is having that free stuff to give away. Okay? So whatever niche you went into, whether it's wholesale supplying and drop shipping niche, or whether it's dog training or whatever niche you choose, we'll give you 3 reports for that niche. You can either use it as is, or you can rebrand it. Okay, like for instance in dog training, one of the reports might be how to be the alpha dog and stop your dog's behavioral problems. But you could just change the cover, spend $5 on Fiverr.com and pay somebody to make a new cover for you. If you wanted to make your website all around poodles, for instance, so it could be how to be the alpha poodle, or how to be the alpha dog and stop your poodle's behavior problems, for instance, and it could have a picture of a poodle on there, and bam, you just rebrand that report, and you're done. Okay. So I do teach you different ways to target things differently in different niches inside Affiliate Jetpack. Okay. So anyway, you just add one of these to your websites. You watch your subscribers pour in. I mean, obviously you've got to do the traffic generating methods that I teach, at least one of them, but that's essentially what you're trying to do. Give away something that they were already looking for. In this case, it's 20 foods that will help you to lose weight and live longer. Right? And you can bet there's a big market for that kind of report. These autoresponders are crazy powerful, all right? Really, really good. Really, really well written. And the reason why is because I do this stuff every day. I don't just do stuff in the make money niche at Affilorama. More often than not, I'm writing emails and stuff and doing it in other niches, like, whether it be dog training or dating or personal development, weight loss or whatever. I'm used to doing it every day and doing really, really well with it. So that's the reason why these turn out so good, is because I've just got a lot of experience that a lot of people don't have. This isn't just written by some e-lancer or something, or not that e-lancers are bad. Some of the e-lancers out there are very, very good at writing quality content, but in terms of the marketing side of things, making sure that you make money from those emails sent, that's where I came in and hopefully helped make you make a lot of money from these autoresponder series, and so forth. Okay, so basically you get to choose 3 reports per niche for 5 niches, they're 10,000 words each, and they're really high quality, well written reports. If you were to pay to get this done on the cheap, it would cost about $420 per report. Okay, and that would be $6,300 for 15 reports. I actually spent a lot more than that. I spent more like closer to $1,000 for each of those reports because I wanted to make sure they were the best possible standard for you guys. But anyway, even if it was $420, that would be $6,300 value for 15 reports. So that's $15,300 value. That's just 2 of the components. And obviously there's the private members forum. You get your websites critiqued by me or by other people. I'm quite happy to get in and record little videos to help push people along. Here's what Tracy says. I would and do recommend a Filorama to other people because I'm tired of explaining to my friends and family how I make money on the internet. I really quite enjoy that I can work from anywhere and do. Component number 3 is the one-click website setup. I demonstrated that on the last webinar we were on, actually, for those of you that were here, and I basically set up a website in less than 5 minutes, opt-in page and all. Thanks to the software that we developed. Spent over $100,000 getting the software developed, and you just get to access it as part of the fellow Jetpack now. Alright? I mean, I valued it at $193 because I was comparing it to one of the more expensive WordPress themes out there, but it's a lot better than that, really, in a lot of ways, you'll find, because you don't even have to know how to install WordPress or anything. You just press a button and my thing does it for you. Okay? So anyway, that's the total value so far, $15,493, because you're getting the autoresponder series, the done for you, the reports done for you, the community, the one-click website setup, 1 year's free hosting. Oh, and you get all this done for you content cheat sheets. So you get 20 of them in each of 5 niches. This is not a private label rights article, these cheat sheets. Each of these cheat sheets is done for you notes, okay, on a certain topic area. Like, for instance, let's say you're in the dog training niche and you wanted to write an article on how to stop poodles from digging or something. Then you'd look at the cheat sheet that was to do with how to stop dogs from digging, and it might have 7 or 8 different bullet pointed ways of doing that, and then you could use that to write your article, or you could hand it off to an article writer, a lower priced article writer, and yet they'll still manage to write you a good article even though they're a cheaper writer, because they didn't have to do any research. It made it a lot easier for them. Okay, so valuing those at say $20 per cheat sheet, that would be for 100 cheat sheets, 20 times 5 niches, that's $2,000 value. That's $17,493 value for all of these 4 components, but it's not that. It's not $1,300. It's not $5,997. And as you remember from the previous webinar, it's not $2,997. It's not $1,997. And for those of you that were upset at me closing the doors recently, I'm now reopening them. But they are going to close shortly to new members, but for a limited time it's just $997. And in fact it's actually less than that. I'm about to tell you as well. I'm reopening the slightly lower than that special too. But first of all, I'll let you know that if this doesn't work for you, I'll give you your money back plus $100 out of my own pocket. Alright, that's how confident I am that you'll succeed. So not only am I like in the members forum doing critiques for you guys and so forth, not only as my staff there to help with any technical problems you might have, not only am I giving you full access to this amazing system and giving you a 60-day money back guarantee, but if you take the time to actually try and use the system and you still don't make money, just show me that you've actually made at least some sort of an effort. Doesn't have to be ridiculous effort, but at least something, and I'll give you an extra $100 on top of your money back just for wasting your time. And I'm only doing that because I'm 100% confident in my system. Now, early mover bonus number 1 is you get the top secret traffic strategies workshops. Now I'm adding more to this all the time. I've got several traffic strategies videos that I've got to record over the next couple of weeks to add to this section, but there's already several videos in there that are really, really good, that are that'll teach you different ways to drive traffic through both free and paid methods. Some people tell me that they're glad they joined just for this alone. You know, there are traffic systems out there that sell for over $1,000 that aren't as good as this. Number 2, Filler Blueprint. This is step-by-step training in those basic fundamentals of affiliate marketing. You get more training with Affiliate Jetpack that go with this, but this is like that step-by-step training. You know, everything from your website design to your newsletter series to even some forms of paid traffic and so forth, and free traffic. And you get to see me build a profitable website in front of you, so you can copy and follow along with me as I build a profitable website in front of you in this particular program. It's normally $197 and you're getting it included. Now, Aidan says that I purchased a Filler Blueprint back in 2008. It was one of the turning points in my internet marketing dream. Now, he purchased version 1, by the way. You're getting version 3 if you join Filler Jetpack before the doors close. Now, within a few short weeks of making my investment, I was already making money. Fast forward to 2014. So as you can see, he wrote this in 2014, and the sites I set up using Mark Ling's methods are still making money every single week, and I never touched them. This is as hands-off as it gets. The largest commission I've earned so far from an affiliate promotion has been $224,000 in a single week. I regularly make upwards of $50,000 from affiliate promotions, and Mark's email marketing strategies and system are amazing. If you want to make great money online, Mark's products are a great place to start. And there's more. Like I said, I'm reopening the surprise bonus, further $250 off. So for those of you that got upset that I close the doors on this and on Affiliate Jetpack altogether, well, it's going to be open, but it's not going to be open for much longer. $747 is what you can get it for if you join today. Sorry, there's no payment options. It's you know, I feel like, you know, it's been discounted as low as I'm ever going to sell it for. It's a fantastic system, and yeah, it's $747. You can get in today and be in the members area, and maybe even have a website up tonight, because it does only take about 5 minutes, or maybe 10 if you're really not sure what you're doing, using my push button software for generating these sites. Now, for those of you that are interested in step 3 of that system that I mentioned before, the webinar only surprise bonus number 2, $1,997 value, the $5 million code. That's where I teach you how to make and sell your own information product. So if you want to have affiliates promoting you, if you want to have your own product, you know, you want to learn the copywriting involved, if you want to make a video sales letter, if you want to watch me step by step build a website from scratch and get it making money, then this will be for you. It's really, I don't want to understate the value of this. I mean, I've built several multi-million-dollar websites, you know, in the past, from rocketlanguages.com to meetyoursuite.com, manifestationmiracle.com, and many others. You know, some of them have been co-produced, not just me. Some of them are 50-50, me and someone else. Some of them are just me. You know, several other sites. You know, and I teach you how to do this in this particular product. This is more of an intermediate product. You probably get started with Jetpack first, then move through to this at some point, and I'm including it for those of you that joined today. Alright, so you get Traffic Strategies Workshop, Filler Blueprint 3, further $250 discount, and the $5 million code. That's $2,944 value. So if you decide to join, then the link is at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you join before the doors close. Okay, I'm going to give you that free report in 2 minutes from now. I just want to make sure that you guys have got the chance to write down this link, okay, before I move and give you the report. That's just got the 3-step method. And now I'm here to take questions. All right. And if I miss any questions, I'm really sorry. It's because of, we're almost at full house on this webinar, so there's so many questions coming through. But I'm going to do my absolute best to stick around and answer lots and lots of questions right now. Okay? All right, Ola says, I have a very busy work schedule. How much time would I need to put into this to start making money? Okay, well, that's like asking how long is a piece of string, because some people decide to just go gung-ho and put in a lot of time, and some people decide to put in, say, half an hour a day. And both methods are fine. When I started, I was just going crazy. I was doing about 6 hours a day because I got so excited so early, but I ended up making a lot of money, so it was worth it. But I see some people doing half an hour a day, and that's great. It's just whatever you can maintain, because it does only take about 5 minutes, 10 minutes to get your site set up, and then it might take you another, I don't know, maybe 1 week if you're only spending half an hour a day in terms of customizing your page and getting your page really set up properly. If you're only doing half an hour a day, it might even take you 2 weeks to get your offer going properly. And then after that, it's a matter of choosing which traffic method you want to use. So you could do it on half an hour a day, but it might take you 6 to 12 weeks to get yourself to that $500. It might take you 12 weeks, to get $500 a month if you're doing only half an hour a day. If you're doing an hour a day, it might take you 6 weeks or 4 weeks. If you're doing 2 hours a day, it might take you a lot less time. It's hard for me to know, though, because it depends on if you make any mistakes that you're going to learn from, or if you don't, if you get a little bit lucky. If you do paid traffic, then things happen faster. If you do free traffic, then it might take a little longer, but it's still well worth it. Sometimes it happens fast with free traffic. It just depends. Yeah, I mean, for those that asked about how do I get the $5 million code if you're already a member, just send support@affiliarama.com an email, and they'll add it to your membership if you don't already have it, but you are an Affiliate Jetpack member. Okay. Someone says, won't these websites have duplicate contents? Well, okay, first thing to bear in mind is that of all the traffic generating methods that there are, and there's maybe 20 of them or whatever, only maybe 2 or 3 of them are affected by duplicate content. Okay? The rest of them, it doesn't even matter. Alright? Now, if you're worried about the duplicate content, then all you need to do is reword them into your own words. Okay? When it comes to the done for you content, like the cheat sheets, you're not even supposed to use those word for word anyway. So you're supposed to take each one of them and spend about 10 minutes. Like, it should only take about 10 minutes to write an article, short article to go on your website once you've got the research already done for you. You just put it in your own words and you're away. Really, really fast. So, yeah, duplicate content. Yeah, of course you don't necessarily want duplicate content out there, but if you're certain, there's a lot of traffic methods where it doesn't even matter anyway. At all. People get a bit too hung up on it. If you're doing SEO, then yes, of course, make sure you write unique versions of your articles. It's not that hard. Like, Dan, are you on here by any chance? Dan, because you joined, yeah, because I noticed you were here earlier. Yes, you are here. Okay, look. Okay, so Dan's a guy that joined recently, like in the last week or so, and he's set up his Affiliate Jetpack already. I noticed you were on the webinar earlier when you punched into the Q&A box. I saw your name come up. Now I noticed when you got me to have a look at your site that you have already written some of your own articles. Did you write those out of your own head, or did you write those using the cheat sheets? And just tell me, if you used the cheat sheets, did they save you time? you know, because they were really good articles. I didn't actually look to compare to the cheat sheets to see if you copied anything. They were just, you looked like you had already written some really good articles. I know you wrote them yourself because you're on a budget. Okay. Dan says, I used the cheat sheets and it took me 30 minutes to write 2. Okay. Well, that's really good. So you wrote 2 of them, 2 articles in 30 minutes because you used the cheat sheets and they were unique content. All right. So that's fantastic. Okay. So yeah, there's no need to worry about duplicate content for those reasons. You know, either you do what we teach you to do and rework things a little bit, or you don't worry about it, but you just don't try to get search engine traffic. You try to get other traffic methods. Cool. All right. Now, Brian says, Mark, hey Mark, why do you think it's a bad idea to start marketing money-making products first? Well, I've never actually said that it's a bad idea to start marketing money-making products first. I just think it's a bad idea to promote yourself as a guru first. Like, if you set yourself up and you're not making money online and you start selling products that teach people how to make money online, you're likely to lead people down the wrong path and end up with a lot of upset customers. And you know, what you know in theory is a lot different to what someone else knows in practice and real, you know, from experience. But if you're not pitching yourself as a guru, if you are literally just pitching yourself as someone that just knows some stuff and you just keep on teaching what you do know as you learn it, you know, that's what I got Matthew Carter to do. Some of you guys know Matthew Carter. He started with me years ago. In fact, years ago, what happened was he went to this live seminar over in Sydney, Australia, and he bought this product from this guy who was selling it for $3,000, teaching affiliate marketing, and you know, it was convoluted. He couldn't follow it, and when he did follow it, he didn't make any money, and it was just waste of time. You know, and he couldn't run to the back of the room any fast enough to buy it, but it was terrible, and he was burnt, you know. And then he came across a Philorama, and the reason why he trusted it was because of the free training at a Philorama was better than the $3,000 product that he'd just bought, you know, the free training. So then he was willing to get hold of, you know, a Philo, you know, the other products, Philo Blueprint and Philo Jetpack after that. And then what he did was he built some affiliate sites in different niches, started making some money, and then I told him, hey, why don't you start up this website, call it something like Matt's Marketing Blog or something, and start blogging about your money making. He's like, oh, I'm not a guru, I can't do that. And I said, look, don't worry about it. Don't even say that you're a guru. Just teach what you know as you're learning it. Okay? Just teach just the little bits that you know. Just say, you know, whatever's interesting that you've just learned. Just post it there. And he said, okay, I'll do that. And then, anyway, now he is, you know, and then he ended up promoting the odd affiliate products that he used that he thought were good and so forth. It became better and better and more knowledgeable, to the point where he wound up learning stuff that I didn't even know, and he started teaching me stuff. And you know what? Now he makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year online, and of which some of that is from his Make Money Online type website. You know, that's definitely in the 6-figure range, that site. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea for one of your jetpacks to be the Make Money Online jetpack. And to get, so what you do is you start in another niche, you make some money in that niche, and at the same time as making money in another niche, you're sort of getting started on the side in the Make Money Online niche too. It is a good niche to be in. All right, so anyway, for those of you guys that want that report, the PDF notes, I'll just give you those right there. They're on the screen now. Okay, so write that down. Sorry for the long web address there. I only just uploaded it just before the webinar. So, so those are the PDF notes I want you to download, if you want them anyway, from this webinar, and I'll stick around to keep answering questions. Okay. Graham says, is that true for all niches? Sorry, what is what true? Sorry, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Sorry. Cindy says, so we need to pay an autoresponder service. Yes, you will. If you're with, say, Fluttermail that we recommend at Affilorama, then it'll be something like $10 a month. If you're with Aweber, I think it's $20 a month. So, yeah, I mean, that's part of, it's part of doing the business. But we try to make things as cheap as possible. We pay for all, if you want to host with us, we will give it to you for 1 year for free. So that saves you having to get web hosting, so that's all covered. Yeah, I mean, we include, as much as we possibly can. But yeah, there will be the odd incidental, and that's probably the most expensive thing, an extra $10 a month. Yeah, so if you're on an iPad, someone just asked, you just got to type that into your web browser to get that particular PDF. You might want to write down that link with a pen, sorry. Graham says, is that true for all niches though, that you don't need to be an expert? Yes, all the niches that I know of, you don't need to be an expert. You don't need to be an expert in, as long as you don't claim that you are an expert. Okay, you're just a researcher or an enthusiast in that niche. You don't need to be an official dog trainer to be enthusiastic about dogs, to have the odd bit of dog training advice, and to link people to dog trainers' websites, so to speak, or the training products made by real dog trainers. Okay, because you're not the one selling the product. You're the one that is you're promoting someone else. Okay, so no, absolutely. In fact, most people I know that make over $1 million a year are not subject matter experts. They're just good marketers. What happens after a year with the web hosting? As far as I remember, it's something along the lines of $47 per year for web hosting. We charge you just bare minimums, so a lot lower than anywhere else. Like, yeah, we're just covering costs. Am I affiliated with Doggy Dan? Off the top of my head, I think we are. Off the top of my head. David said that the webinar, the link is not showing up for him. Well, just write this down. If you want the PDF notes, it's at affilorama.com/files, that's FILES/documents/112k notes. That's 112k notes.pdf. Okay, and if you really have trouble with that, then just email support. Sorry, I've just got to keep moving forwards. Mike said 47 a year for hosting. Yes, but if you're already, but when you join, like I said, you get the $47 for you get that. I mean, you get the 1 year's web hosting for free, covered with Affiliate Jetpack, and if you're an Affiliate Jetpack member, then if after a year is gone, if you want to stay with our hosting, then we'll do it for cost price, which is about $47 a year from memory. I've had a few people saying that they had joined Affiliate Jetpack just for the email series and the reports. Absolutely, I would, if I saw another product online where somebody had gone to the same efforts and if it was just the same quality as Affiliate Jetpack, I would buy it. I would use it. I would add, even though I've got newsletter series that go for a year, I would buy it just to take them to 2 years. Just to paste it in there. Like it's incredibly valuable because it is very time consuming. I mean, you might even already have a newsletter series, some of you guys, that might go for 3 weeks. You know what? Buy this and it goes for a year. Okay. For people asking, can you expect support from me directly? You can if it comes to little, and I say it like, if it comes to marketing related stuff, like it's in particular if it comes to a website critique. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that my staff can do very, very well and can do a lot better than me. Like if one of you guys has some technical issue, like your website has, I don't know, like it's some headlines not displaying correctly or something. I mean, I don't know that as well as my staff know it, you know. But if you're like saying, hey, look, I've got my website, I've just set it up, here's what it looks like, I think I've done everything right, Mark, can you come have a look at this? Then, yeah, that's something I can do. You know, if I'm the best man for the job for a certain thing, then I can just get in there and record a video, and that's great. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I do that for fellow Jetpack members. But yeah, I mean, there are plenty of instances where a staff member is actually a better person to have answer something. You know, it depends what it is. All right. Yeah, I mean, I have had the odd person get upset with me for not answering a specific question, but then I look at the answer and I'm like, I literally could not have answered it any better than what my staff member has just posted in here. You know, like there's nothing more I could have said. But yeah, when it comes to website critiques, I know I'm one of the better ones at doing that because I've got so much experience. So that's something that I can do. Okay. If anyone already has a filler blueprint version 3, then you can if you already have a filler blueprint version 3, then I can after you join, email our support staff with your receipt, and I can replace that with something else, maybe a 1-year membership to maybe Traffic Travis, or a 1-year membership to Sail Who, or something else. You know, we'll do our best to be able to give you something else of equal value if at all possible. Okay. Cool. All right. I've heard a few people saying that they just bought. That's awesome. Someone says our one-page site's still working. Yes, one-page sites are still working, but you're probably not going to get natural search engine traffic to a one-page site. But there are lots of other traffic strategies that you can use to drive traffic to your opt-in page if it's a one-page site. Absolutely. Someone said, where in Affiliate Jetpack do you find the web hosting? It's already there. You just press a button to generate your website. It's already instantly hosted. You don't need to find it. It's just working straight away. Someone said, what's the main difference between paid and free traffic? Well, the main difference is free traffic may take longer but it might take more of your time also in order to get it done. Like if you're trying to get high search engine rankings, for instance, that could take 6 weeks before they're ranking where you want them to. Or if you're trying to drive free traffic from, say, a Kindle book, well, you're going to have to spend the time writing a 30-page Kindle book, which is relatively easy if you're using my cheat sheets as your done-for-you research. You could write a book, probably in the matter of a couple of days and get it up there, but it takes time. Whereas paid traffic, you get in there, you pay the money, and you know, as long as you're targeting the right audience, you're away. So paid traffic can be a lot faster. So bear in mind, we're going to have to close the doors to new members on this very soon. So yeah, just bear that in mind. We're going to have to close the doors to new members shortly. So if you are going to consider this offer, then bear in mind also that we've got a 60-day money-back guarantee, and if you implement this and it doesn't work for you, then you'll get $100 on top of your money back as well. Okay. Alright, got lots of people saying that they've already bought. I've just signed up, looking forward to getting started, and so forth. That's great. Someone says, if I already am an affiliate blueprint member, will I get an additional 5 sites? Yes, you will get an additional 5 sites hosted if you buy a affiliate jetpack. Cool. Will I teach Facebook advertising? Yes, that is something that that I'm just about to add a video on that. So look out for that within the next week. It'll be in there. It'll be in there very, very shortly. Yes, they've got some many new advertising options recently, and I've got several friends of mine that are extremely good at Facebook advertising that I've been learning from lately. So that's really, really awesome. Like one of my top affiliates in one of the niche markets that I'm in drives almost all his traffic from Facebook, which is pretty incredible. You know, that just highlights how profitable it is. Cindy says, are we going to invest in paid ads? Well, you can, but you don't have to. And remember, like I said earlier in this strategy, you know, most of you guys are going to get to $500 a month and probably more, like I did, because I didn't have much money when I started this stuff, without doing any paid traffic strategy. All I did was free traffic strategies. Paid traffic wasn't even an option until I was making money, and then I invested some of the money I was making into buying traffic. Okay, so if you do spend money on paid traffic, then it should be money that you've got available to spend. Okay. Cool. I don't know what you mean. Am I offering a 5 extra bonus jetpacks? No, you're getting 5 jetpacks, not 5 bonus jetpacks. No, I'm not. I'm not sure when I'm doing another live event in the USA at this stage. For those that are asking, all great to have you on board, Ola. Will there be any upsells once we buy a full jetpack? From what I remember, you get the option of buying more jetpacks if you want to, but you only need those first 5 jetpacks because that should give you plenty. You know, if you want more jetpacks, well, you should probably just wait until you've used up those 5, because once you're a member, you're allowed to buy access to additional jetpacks. So that, yeah, I mean, there's nothing else that you need though other than this, really. So it seems like several of you guys have jumped on board, which is awesome. Can you change the cover or repackage or change the text of the fellow books and so forth? Yes, you can. I wouldn't recommend selling them, although you could if you want to. They are very good quality. I would recommend you give them away as your opt-in bonus, and so forth. The extra jetpacks, I honestly can't remember the price off the top of my head. I think it's might be 127 or something. You'd have to check in the members area. Sorry, I just can't remember off the top of my head. Good to have you on board, John, as well. Man, I'm getting heaps of you guys saying that you're on board, by the way, which is fantastic. Great. I'm looking forward to seeing you in there. I'm looking forward to seeing some more people actually posting their websites for critiques. I don't get many fellow Jetpack members doing it. You know, I'm trying to encourage that more now, though. So, you know, as long as it's a fellow Jetpack type site, you know, otherwise it's a different kettle of fish. You know, I'm here to help the fellow Jetpack members with their fellow Jetpack sites. Sometimes I get somebody, you know, put up some site that's got nothing to do with a fellow Jetpack whatsoever, and it's like, well, you know, if you're a member of a fellow Jetpack, then I'm here to help you with your fellow Jetpack type stuff, and I'm happy to help you with the $5 million code stuff too. So if you happen to have a sales copy or something that you want me to look over or whatever, I can do that too. But if you've got, say, I don't know, something that's just completely outside the realms, like say an AdSense website or something that I'm not even teaching, then, you know, that's not what the critique's for. It's for stuff that I actually teach or do. As long as it's something within the realms of stuff I do, then I can do that. You know, and try not to rush me with the critiques. I try to get them back as soon as I can, but yes, sometimes they take up to 7 days. Sometimes I get them done overnight. It's just depends what I can get through really. Shouldn't be more than six or 7 days though at the outset. Shouldn't be. So yeah, I mean, I noticed several people come through recently: Benjamin, Maria, Selma, Dominic, Ken, Laurel, Paul, Stephen, Mays, Grant, Walter, Raymond, and Marsha, and others. So that's awesome. Great to have you. Great to have you guys here. What do you think about building our own private blogs? Do you mean your own private blog network, Mel? I'm not quite sure what you mean. Private blog networks are great. That's part of a good SEO strategy these days. It still works, even though Google says you probably shouldn't. But it does still work. But yeah, I mean, private blogs, do you mean just blogging on within your website? Yeah, though, that's good. A lot of fellow Jetpack users and other affiliate website owners in general often find that just being a bit more personal about their content, making it like a blog. Like, I know someone that's doing one in the weight loss niche and blogging about their weight loss journey. I mean, it's a really good way to go about doing it. About coming up with your content, about engaging with your readers. You don't have to use the Affiliate Jetpack content as is. You can, absolutely. It's ready to roll, but you might want to put in your own personal flavor to it. Go for it. Brian said, I'm wondering if keyword research is important. Well, if you're doing SEO traffic, then yes. Or if you're doing, say, YouTube traffic, then yes. No, if you're doing other forms of traffic, like, I don't know, like blog, like let's say you're doing blog, guest blogging for other people, or you're doing forum commenting, being helpful on a forum and using it in your signature, like linking to your opt-in page and so forth. And we do a lot of done-for-you keyword research inside every single niche. You'll notice there's like a big keyword research package. There's a lot of niche research done for you inside a Affiliate Jetpack that you'll find in there. Someone says, will you be giving us the PDF? I already did, but here it is again. There's the link to the PDF. Okay, it's on the screen. Just type it in or write it down before you lose it. Cool. Selma, looking forward to having you on board. Susan said, what's a private blog? Well, it's not really private. It's called a private blog network. It's not really private because anyone can see them. It's just called that because what you do is you buy. It's a more advanced strategy. You don't have to use it, but some people do and do well with it. You buy domain names that have expired, but they used to have a website on it that had a reasonably high page rank in Google, like it had been around a while. So you put a new website back up online and you turn it into a blog. You put maybe 3 or 4 pages on it or whatever, and then you go ahead and you use the authority of those blogs to post links to your websites or even your clients' websites if you have clients, and you get them ranking higher in the search engines, your sites or your clients' sites or whatever. And that's what you do. So people that set up a private blog network, they might buy maybe 10 or 20 different websites that were just about to expire. There are domain auctions online that you can do it. I mean, I can teach that in Affiliate Jetpack if you guys are really interested. Actually, I'm going to run a webinar soon with everybody with a friend of mine, Mike Long, that does this stuff. So I'll make sure he teaches that really well, how to start your own private blog network if you want to use that for getting high search engine rankings. Jade said, brilliant PDF, thanks. Cool, that's awesome, glad you like it. How about adding a forum to our website? Yes, you could do that. You can do that. I've done that before, but you just got to be bothered to moderate it, though. Mel says, do you think Google will eventually come down on private blogs? Well, they already have, but they can only spot, at the moment, they can only spot larger private blog networks. They can't spot it when someone only has 10 or 20 blogs in that network. You know, they really are unlikely to. They usually don't spot. They usually don't spot them, but particularly if you do it right, and don't host them all on the same IP address, you know, that's when they notice them. But yeah, I mean, maybe that method will go away. That's why it's not a method I've been teaching you guys, because it might not, but it's probably going to work for the next year or so or more, but it's not everything. Do I have one-click install and theme inside Fuller Armor Premium hosting? No, I don't. Sorry, because it's part of a Fuller Jetpack. Even though these are large niches that have a lot of people in them, I've had a few people asking, can we still make money on them? Absolutely. I mean, that's, if I'm going to go into a new niche, and it's pretty rare that I do these days, go into too many new niches, but if I do, I look for the next biggest niche I can find, the next biggest ocean. It's so much easier to get a small sliver of a multi-billion-dollar pie than it is to get a large piece of a very small pie. It is way easier. You know, doesn't take much. I mean, if you're in the weight loss niche, for instance, or dating niche, or make money niche, or whatever, one of these multi-billion-dollar niches, you know, there are probably over 1 million people earning over, you know, more than a full-time living in each of those niches, you know, around the world, you know, in different ways, not all doing it online. But yeah. Susan, yes, that was a backlinking thing. Joseph says, will I have training on how to rank on Bing? Well, I did teach a little bit of that. I went over a little bit in the last webinar, but I am planning on releasing a more detailed video on that. That is in my upcoming list of videos to create for the members. But there are other traffic trading videos already in there that are really, really good. Someone says, do I have regular webinars presenting content or Q&A sessions? I do webinars, but quite often what I do is I record videos and just keep adding them to the members area. Sometimes I do them live where people can do Q&A, and I will do some of those coming up because I think that's a good idea. But yeah, I quite often like to do videos that they're a little bit more planned out than say just a straight out Q&A, because a lot of people ask their Q&A on, you know, through our support or through the forums, we wind up replying to them. But yeah, no, that's definitely a possibility for sure, doing more of that. Someone says, would I say paid advertising on Facebook is the quickest way to make money with these sites? Well, Facebook's one way. I mean, solo ads is probably the quickest that I see, but it's not the easiest to scale up. I mean, you can scale it to the point where you're making say a few $10 or $20 or $30,000 a month online, but it's really hard to scale it to say $1 million a year from solo ads. But you could get to $1 million a year from Facebook ads. There's just so much traffic there on Facebook. That's more scalable, I guess, or pay-per-click and other forms. Yeah, paid advertising, it's definitely the quickest way because you're getting your traffic right away, but it's also a way where, like anything, there's if you make mistakes, then it's not going to work straight away. So anyone that gets involved in paid advertising should be prepared that they might lose a little bit of money before they start making it. I lost $50 when I first did paid advertising, and then I gave up for 6 months. Then I went back to it and I lost 100, or it might have been 150. Then I gave up again, and then I went back to it, and then I lost almost $500. And then I started making money, and I was just about to give up. And then after that, bam, I spent about $250,000 that year on advertising, because I kept on making $1 back for every dollar I spent. Like if you're making $2 for every dollar you spend, you are trying to do anything you can, increase your credit limit, like do whatever it is you can to get money to spend, because when you're making $2 back for every dollar you spend, that's a fantastic place to be in. Even if you don't think that you've got money or don't have access to money, you find ways of getting it when you're getting that sort of return. And Mike said my customer support department is fantastic. Oh, great to hear that. Glad that you like it. Did you guys like the webinar, by the way? Like, there's a lot of great content covered, but I've been answering a lot of questions now about a fellow jetpack and so forth. I'd like to know what your thoughts were on the content. And sorry if I get a few people complaining, saying, "Hey, why haven't you answered my question?" Like, I'm sorry, I just can't get to absolutely everybody. Like, there's just so many questions. It's a tricky thing to get through. I'm doing my best. Cindy said, so regarding my early questions, these websites will not be unique. No, they're not unique. Everyone has similar ones, absolutely. And that doesn't actually matter for what we're doing here. You can make it unique if you want to, though. They're not unique, but we don't actually, I'm not necessarily trying to get you to put up the content as is. If you're wanting to do SEO, then I'm encouraging you inside the system to make the content unique. Okay, in terms of the autoresponder series, usually people will use those as is, because that doesn't really matter so much for duplicate content, although maybe someday it will. But those are even very easy to make unique. It's just a case of just rewording. You can spend half an hour a day, and after maybe a couple of weeks you will have reworded everything, and it's all your own content. You can take some of the content and turn them into videos. You could even change the order of the autoresponder. It doesn't have to go in the same order that we give it to you. There's a lot of things that you can do with this stuff. It's, for an opt-in bribe, you can make an audio version of it. To make it a bit different. Change the cover, spend $5 on Fiverr and pay someone to graphic design it for you. So if that's what you're worried about, absolutely you can do that. Cool. Awesome. I had a lot of people saying, great webinar, it's great. Yes, it's a great webinar, but it could have been a bit shorter. Yeah, fair enough, Peter. It's great. Thanks for being so open. Autoresponder series sounds great. Someone says, I agree, your customer support's fantastic. This webinar's fantastic. Well presented. Awesome. Well, no, I'm glad you guys enjoy the webinar. And like I said, I'm really sorry if I haven't managed to get to your question. Just go ahead and email support@afillarama.com if you've got more questions. Because I'm sorry if I haven't managed to get to all of them. There's just like too many questions and to be able to fit into the time frame. But but I feel like I've answered at least most of the common ones out there. And don't forget, you can make a unique angle for your niche. Like some people get in the weight loss niche and then they decide, I'm going to make a website all about chicken soup diets, or all about losing weight if you've got a thyroid problem, or losing pregnancy fat or stubborn belly fat. Or I'm going to make a website about, instead of about dog training, it'll be about poodle training or golden retriever training or Labrador training. Or there's unique angles for just about every niches. Wholesale sourcing and supplying. You could make a website that was all about wholesale sourcing and supplying goods to sell on Amazon, or it could be all about wholesale sourcing and supplying sunglasses. Just focus in on one part of the niche, or watches or MP3 players. Most of you guys out there, if you've been having trouble making money online in the past, usually it's because either you had bought somebody's system that wasn't very good, unfortunately. Because there are some people out there that just make money by teaching people how to make money. They don't actually do stuff themselves. Or it's because you have been doing what I said earlier with the knocking down the doors. You keep knocking down the first door and then noticing there's a couple more doors there. So instead of knocking those down too and getting to the pot of gold, you go and find another door to knock down and find out, oh, there's 2 doors behind that one too. So everything gets 1/3 to 50% done, maybe even 95% done. Unfortunately, it's like doing an operation on somebody. If you do an operation on somebody and it's 80% done, then they're probably going to be leaking with blood. It's probably actually a bad example, but 80% doesn't make it work. You don't have to do the equivalent of open heart surgery though to be making great money online. What you need to do is the equivalent of putting a band-aid on or something easy like that. It's straightforward, but you need to finish the job. Okay? Put the band-aid on, stop it getting infected, heck, that was a bad example, sorry guys. But you just got to be able to finish it, that's all. I see a lot of people doing stuff but not finishing. There's still more to be done, and then they get discouraged, and it's like, no, you're doing fine, you're doing great, you're 70% of the way there, you just haven't finished it, you still got to do this and this, and then they don't get round to it, and then they go, oh, I did that thing that didn't work, and it's like, oh, but did you do those other things? And they're like, oh yeah, no, I haven't. And that's usually it. Okay, so make sure you do finish off all those little check boxes, that's all. Don't get discouraged if you are. I like to see people I like to see people always thinking of themselves as being part of a greater story, your story. Like in any great story, if you're the hero of your story, in any great story, heroes get setbacks along the way. And what makes a great hero's journey story is the person who manages to push past the setbacks and achieve something brilliant. And that's great in life when stuff like that happens. So be your hero in your own story. Brian Holmes said I should have used building a house. That's a better analogy. Yes, absolutely. Cool. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I'll just leave you with just a couple of quick testimonials, and then I'll get going. This one was from Sonny. He says, my name's Sonny. I'm a good friend of Mark's. Mark's been one of our top affiliates and is a master at his craft. He's been promoting our catalogue of dating products for quite some time. Has done well over 6 figures a year in sales for us through the power of his list and email marketing. Email marketing is one skill you can use to put your business on autopilot and make you consistent income for many years. I've actually so far grossed over $4 million in sales and counting, and a high proportion of that is thanks to email marketing, both from my list and that of affiliates. I believe a course like Affiliate Jetpack will be completely life-changing for you in more ways than you can imagine. And Jackson Lynn says, I first got started with Mark Ling's Affiliate Blueprint product and later with Affiliate Jetpack. Thanks to what I learned, I've managed to travel the world, including New Zealand, Asia, and America. I love affiliate marketing and have made a lot of money online. I'm now financially free and can do what I want when I want. This is awesome. Thanks so much. Okay, so if you haven't written down that link, write it down now, because I'm sorry I'm going to have to close off the webinar now, but I want to say a big thanks, guys, for being here. Thanks for the kind words about the content and stuff on the webinar. I hope that you grabbed your free report while you were at it. In fact, I'll just go across to that link there. Write it down if you need to write down that link, but you better write it fast because I'm about to close off for this webinar. And yeah, I mean, I hope that you guys do extremely well online. I love hearing success stories. Please take the time to send one in, by the way, because quite often I bump into students of mine when I'm around the world and at a marketing event or something, and they'll say, hey, I first started about 3 years ago with you, or 1 year ago, or whatever, and I'm making XYZ and blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh, that's great. You know, but they haven't actually. It's only because they bumped into me in person that they even told me. They could have sent me an email or something. I like hearing it. It's really, it's really great if you do. So I appreciate that. It's more motivating seeing that. All right, guys, can't wait to see you guys on the inside. Looking forward to seeing all of yous. All right, guys, bye for now, everyone. Hey everybody, you're listening to Mark Ling, and I want to welcome you to today's groundbreaking webinar where in the next 60 to 90 minutes I'm going to reveal to you how I'm going to guarantee that you're going to have more money coming in from your own email list, either because of or in spite of your own performance. Now, look, I'm really grateful, and in fact, I'm really overwhelmed by the response to my fellow Jetpack program recently. Several hundred people have already joined. I'm actually pretty close to running out of space, probably by the time I finish this webinar, in fact. And I was really surprised when I said that I'm going to do this new webinar today where I teach my 3-step system for making over $112,000 per month online. I thought, heck, people have been on enough of my webinars lately, to be honest. So I thought, maybe 100 or 200 are going to turn up, and surprise on me. As of an hour ago, there were 1,872 people registered to be here, and it looks like any moment now this webinar is going to be full. So I really highly recommend that you don't leave this webinar, just in case you try to come back in. It might block you from doing that because there's a space limit on the webinar due to bandwidth. So yeah, I never expected such a huge response. So those of you who got here early, you're smart because you're guaranteed that you're here. And now it's possibly going to be the most important hour of your year, and maybe even your life for some of you guys. You're going to learn how to get rich with an automatic internet business that generates cash day after day, month after month, even if you know absolutely nothing about the internet as a marketing tool, nothing about a website, nothing about running a business, don't have any technical skills, don't have anything going on. Look, if you can copy and paste and be persistent, you can do this. I've made it that easy thanks to my system that I'm going to share with you. So please pay close attention to this, because it could literally be one of the moments you'll always remember as the moment that changed everything in your life and allowed you to finally live the dream life you've always wanted. Plus, at the end of the hour, I'm going to tell you how you can get your hands on my cutting-edge fellow Jetpack system before the doors actually close on this offer. This is a system that's helped literally thousands of people to almost instantly build a list, monetize that into thousands of dollars, and do so in just a few simple steps. Now, if you've got specific questions, I'm going to take them in a question and answer session at the end of the webinar. So I'm going to be on for quite a while on here answering questions. Please write them down, because I can't always get to all the questions like right away. So now, as I said earlier, make sure you've got a pen and paper ready. Get ready to take lots of notes. This is awesome, life-changing stuff I'm going to be sharing, but it means nothing if you don't take action with what you learn. For some of you, it'll be the start of your millionaire's journey. For others, it'll be start of the journey towards making a heck of a lot more money and having more freedom than you used to experience before. And for those of you who just sit and listen and do nothing, though, it might be a moment of regret where you wished you did get cracking right now. So make sure there's no regrets. Make sure you take action with what you learn. Okay, because that's the ultimate key to making great money online. Okay, so let's get started. All right, in today's exclusive webinar presentation, you're going to learn the biggest obstacle stopping you right now from making great money online. You're going to learn, step 1, how to go from $0 to $500 a month online. You're going to learn how to go from $500 to $10,000 a month, and then how to scale from $10,000 to $112,000 a month. So there is something for everyone, even if you're a beginner to advanced. And you're going to learn those 3 steps are going to be covered in the PDF that I'll give out at the end of the webinar. You'll find out why even one-page websites can make a fortune online. You'll find out how to get started making money online right away. And you know, even if you're a newbie, and lots more. Are you guys excited about this webinar? Type in the Q&A box and say yes. Just get me hyped up so I know how hyped up you are, and so I know you're all ready to go. Okay? All right, awesome. Getting loads of yeses. Extremely, extremely yes. Hell yes, of course. Yep, very yes, yes, yes. Yes, do it, Mark. Yes, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Great. And for those of you who've got questions, remember, write them down. I'll be taking questions later in the webinar, okay, because I notice a few coming in already. Bear in mind, I can't always answer every single question due to the number of people on here, but I'll do my best. And if I do miss any, then just email them into support@afilorama.com later. But I'll do my best. I'm going to stick around for a while after the webinar. Now, a lot of you guys already know a bit about my background from previous webinar trainings that I've been on. So I'm only going to do a really super quick recap for those of you who missed it, because I know that some of you guys don't know who I am, although a lot of you guys do. So I'm just going to do the 60-second recap, basically. Like, several years ago, I was $120,000 in debt. I was depressed and I was struggling to get by. I was living in a cold, rundown house. I drove a Mazda 808, a 1976 Mazda 808, and the outlook for my future at that point in time looked grim. And several of my flatmates then at the time started doing drugs, and all of them who were in college at the time, they all dropped out of college within about 1 month of each other. It was crazy. My environment sucked. I had no money. I was in over my head in massive debt. I had all sorts of strangers turning up at my house doing drugs at about 3 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I got involved in making money on the internet. And I set up websites with free articles on them, and I recommended readers of those articles to go and buy relevant products. I earned commissions every time someone bought one of those products. So for instance, someone might type in, say, father of the bride wedding speech, and I'd have an article on it that gave some tips for writing a father of the bride wedding speech, and that page would include links maybe to a guide on how to write a father of the bride wedding speech, and I'd earn a 75% commission on every sale of that. And I did the same in dating, dog training, body wraps, virtual horse training, anti-spam software, learn guitar, lots of different things. And next thing I knew, I was not only making a great amount of money online,